Hi, Leo, and welcome back to my channel. Whether you are a Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or however Leo may show up on your astrological natal chart, then these messages are for you. And today I'm channeling messages focusing on the topic of we've reconciled, now what? But first, my name is Lexa Tarot, and I am a second degree Reiki practitioner, as well as an intuitive tarot and oracle reader. And if you are interested in learning more about me, my client testimonials, my credentials, scheduling a private recorded reading, or learning more about my Patreon platform or Patreon shop, then look down below in the description box. You will have all the information there as well as links. That being said, for those of you who are my subscribers, my new viewers, and visitors alike, I want to thank each and every one of you for your love, your support, and your loyalty to our channel. I greatly appreciate it. And as I said, today I'm going to be channeling messages focusing on we've reconciled, now what? Now, I do want to say this. Some of you may be at different points of the reconciliation process, okay? Hold on one second. Let's flip this because this deck has messages on both sides of the cards, okay? So, there we go. Now, listen, you could be at different stages in this reconciliation. Some of you are in the stage of kind of like you're on the fence. Should I, shouldn't I, should we, shouldn't we? I don't know. You're a little bit hesitant. Others of you have chosen already and said, yes, okay, fine. We are starting this reconciliation. Others of you have been already pretty much, you've done you're reconciling, but it's been a while, right? So there's been kind of like, more time in the reconciliation process. So wherever you may fall in that spectrum, then these messages are for you. Whether you're thinking about it, whether you just started, or whether you've been in the reconciliation process for a bit. Okay, let's take a look here at what now, like what's the next step? How is this looking here? Okay. And let's take a look here at what's coming through for you, Leo, and your partner. And you have here in a fog, fear, obligation, guilt makes you stay, get clarity. I want to say there was another, and then it says here, strong roots, pull weeds of resentment so your love can bloom. Oh, yeah, I'm getting a lot here already. I want to say there was another, man, I wish I could remember. There was another sign that got the same one. So in a fog is, especially in a fog and strong roots. Okay. So both those energies, some of you may resonate with one energy more than the other because this is a general reading. So in a fog, some of you are really uncertain. You're like, I don't even know if I should or I shouldn't. But there may be other underlying responsibilities that you have, or that you've been considering, or that you feel that you have to consider. So it's as if like, I don't want to reconcile, but I have to reconcile, or I should reconcile, or we should reconcile because of the kids, because of financial reasons, because of cultural reasons, because of family reasons, because we've been together for so long. So I don't, or we don't want to just give up, but this is so hard. And, that type of energy is what I'm getting here. Some of you, it's the fear of leaving totally. Okay. Some of you feel obligated by some type of responsibilities, whether that's family, culture, okay, children. There's a sense here feeling guilty that your marriage or your connection or your partnership failed. So it's like, I'm staying in it because I want to save face. Now, of course, those reasons should not be the reason on either staying or leaving. Okay. So there needs to be here a sense of clarity and understanding the dynamics of the connection so that things are clear. Why am I fearing leaving once and for all? Why do I feel guilt? Why do I feel, so it's kind of like both of you getting to the bottom of the core of those feelings, experiences, or emotions, and really getting clarity on where that feeling of guilt, resentment, hurt, pain, sadness, fear, obligation to the responsibilities. Where is that coming from? And really looking at things from a different point of view or a different perspective in order to really understand if both of you are both willing to make it work. You also have here strong roots. It says pull the weeds of resentment so your love can bloom. So for others of you, there's a lot of guilt or a lot of resentment here. Okay. Kind of like, like really harboring some, I want to say some kind of lower vibrational energies here. Okay. Feeling like, and I feel it comes from either the hurt or the sadness of whatever this may have been. I'm getting roots as family. For some of you, family is a very big deal here. It's like you are focusing on the reconciliation because you're thinking a lot about what people will say, what your cultural upbringing may have been, what maybe you have examples in your family where they've been together forever and you're like, oh my God, why am I going to be the first one to give up or to divorce or to, end this connection? So there's a lot here having to do with that sense of kind of like I'm getting like emotional burdens or mental burdens here on your mind or in your heart. And this is talking about really kind of you looking along with your partner, the real reasons you want to stay. Okay, because love can bloom in your connection, but you got to do it from a place of you both wanting it for yourselves and for each other and not for other people, or due to the fact that there are other responsibilities or obligations here. That it's not because of financial reasons, that it's not because of the children, that it's not because of those other reasons, that it's really at the core because this is really the type of illumination and clarity that while you've been apart, you've done the soul searching type of, getting to the bottom and to the core of it, and then really saying to yourself, okay, I really do want it for myself, or I want it for both of us. So that's how this is coming across. Let's see what else is coming through here within this connection. I'm also getting that the strong roots, some of you have been together for quite some time. So I'm getting here that there's a lot of time, investment, years in. And so because there's so much there invested in this connection, that you're really looking at that and not looking at what could be the problem core here that needs to be fixed. So let's see what else is coming through here. Oh, look at that. It's time to take action. You have here Aries. Okay, Aries energy here. It says new moon. This is a very positive card. It's a card about motivation, about tenacity, about determination, about being proactive on the things that both of you may be a little bit stubborn or hard-headed about. There could be here a little bit of ego and pride getting in the way and not allowing that to kind of in a way, understand where that ego or that pride is stemming from. Okay, so taking a very hard look at that. This is also about both of you putting in the action and the discipline needed in order to get over um the challenges. So this is coming across as both of you getting the clarity that you need in order for them, both of you, to take the action that is necessary here. For some of you, I feel that you are very much on the fence about this, and others of you are choosing reconciliation because you feel like you have to. And so wherever you may be within that spectrum, this is talking about really you getting a clear sense of why reconcile and why and how you're going to be proactive excuse me, proactive in the efforts of reconciliation. How are you, meaning both of you, not just you individually, Leo, but both of you, how are you both going to give to the connection once the motivation has faded? Okay, so that's why I'm talking about discipline, right? Rather than just motivation, because motivation, not every day you're going to wake up from, from bed saying, oh yeah, I am totally fired up and putting a lot of energy and effort into this reconciliation process, because that mending, healing and repairing takes time. It's not something that's done overnight. So motivation could be fickle. You may feel very motivated one day, very much not feel motivated the next. But here's the thing, discipline is going to be key. So it's what routine, what actions, what resources, what steps do you guys have in place to ensure that even when the motivation isn't there, that the discipline of really um, putting in the work and the action and the things that are promised are seen. All right, let's see what else is coming through here. Uh, in this connection, healing heart, exactly what I said. There's a lot of healing that needs to take place. In this connection, there could have been here kind of like I don't want to say toxicity because that word is so used so much nowadays, but I'm getting here what is the lack of moderation in something, especially here with addiction. What are the unhealthy attachments? What are the old patterns of behavior? Where is the energy, or kind of like where is the ego and the pride and the resentment and the guilt, and where are all those emotions stemming from? And so this is talking about healing that core within this reconciliation through clarity. Again, the second card talking about clarity. um and what are the things that need to be really talked about and revealed? Now, swords energy is about the minds, it's about the air, it's about communication, it's about listening, it's about the clarity of the mind. And the rose is symbolizing to me the love. So there is love here. It's just kind of feeling like there's this energy of like either feeling tired or feeling like you've gone through, oops, so sorry, or you've gone through this like up and down roller coaster so many times that is just kind of like you may be asking yourselves, are we just coasting in this connection? Okay, remember that I talked about determination. There you go, the determination and the discipline. Okay, because again, like I said, not every day are you going to wake up wanting to really be like, yay, we're going to make this work today. Sometimes you don't. I mean, just take it like just I'm just giving you an example here. And again, I'm just going to give you, this is just as an example, but just take into consideration just something as easy as going to the gym and working out. Some days, you're very like pumped and energized and motivated to go. And sometimes you're just like, I don't have the motivation to go to the gym. But if you are disciplined, if you create the discipline and you focus on the discipline, you focus on the determination of being disciplined, then even when you're not motivated, you will find a way to make it to the gym and exercise. Put the action in the effort, right? So that's kind of like the energy that I'm getting here for both you, Leo, and your partner, or in your reconciliation process. Look at that. Judgment. Judgment is about epiphany. So this time around, even if there's been this up and down for quite some time, there's some type of aha moment that either you may be figuring out right now, Leo, or your partner may be figuring out right now. So this could be like, out of all the separations, maybe this one was like the most kind of like, wow, this is really happening. I feel like we really are on the brink of divorce. And some of you, and listen, this is not just for the married couples. This could be just someone that, both of you have been together for quite some time. But there's a lot of kind of like head and heart type of trying to figure something out here. Should I or shouldn't I? Okay, what's holding this connection, or what held this connection together may not be the same thing that will hold it together through the reconciliation. So this judgment card, which by the way is ruled by Pluto, It's about renewal. It's about evolution. It's about reconsidering or taking a second look at the factors that I spoke about at the top of the reading and really understanding, are you looking at those factors of healing your connection, okay, and putting the effort that is needed, okay? Four Swords, look at that. It's taking a mental break and really allowing yourself to say, okay, maybe us taking time apart is going to be needed in order for us to be really to come to a clarity of the mind, because the Four of Swords is someone who's been thinking about something so much. You've been thinking about the pain, you've been thinking about the sadness, the hurt, the resentment, the fears, the obligation, the guilt, the regret, all right, the resentment for such a long time, or it's been on your mind for so long, that the Four of Swords is saying, listen, I'm taking a mental break. If it means that we need to like not talk for a little bit just so that we can get our minds set, our minds clear, or for us not to think about it or not discuss it, because there's a sense here of having to take a self-evaluation, or a sense of forgiveness that needs to take place here, way before even the reconciliation, even the talks of reconciliation take place, okay? So there may be this energy here about the forgiveness, the apology. Is pride getting in the way? Is ego getting in the way of the apology process, of the admitting and being vulnerable to the mistakes that both of you have felt and contributed in this connection? Let's take a look at the advice that's coming through for you. All right, and let's see. And you have here patience. Yeah, it's going to take time. Okay. By the way, not only is it going to take time, but it's going to take time because the Judgment card is here. That's a major arcana. And it's going to take time because the Four of Swords is here. There's a sense of solitude or mental overload, or having to take a break from the mental overload. It could be mental, but because it's swords, it could also be communication. So there could be kind of like a pause in communication, or a pause of thinking about this breakup, separation, or even talks of divorce. But you do both here have patience. And this is saying the universe timeline doesn't always align with our desires, but it weaves the future in its own way. The delays you're experiencing, told you, there are delays here. I said that. Some of you kind of like are unsure. You're on the fence. Some of you maybe just said yes to the reconciliation. You're still on the fence. You said yes for other reasons, like I said at the top of the reading. But anyway, it says the delays you're experiencing are preparing for the miracles you are waiting for. Forcing things won't speed up the process. Okay? It says, instead, it may cause you to miss the miracles meant for you. All right. Beautiful message here. There's the sloth. There's the divine timing here. There's kind of like some of you may be in this like idle mode where, you're just kind of playing the waiting game and seeing, whether you should or you shouldn't, or if you already said yes, kind of taking into account why you may have said yes. Okay. And did you say yes for the right reasons? All right, Leo, I hope these messages have been insightful. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.